Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. I recently have had a trickling of subscribers and I really appreciate you guys subscribing. It means a lot, especially when you're as little and minuscule as my channel is. It means the world. I love it so much. Thank you. Thank you guys. Today I wanted to highlight one of my newer plants, sort of. I've had it since about the beginning of the year. It's been a bit and I wanted to wait before I did a care video. I wanted to really get in the rhythm of this plant child and only make a video when I was confident in my ability. And now that I have had 4 new leaves coming in at the same time, not to brag, but I am bragging, I feel like I can tell you my tips about it. So I hope this video is helpful and let's just hop to it, okay? So I've been wanting a Monstera Deliciosa for quite some time, but I never saw them in stores. It was very similar to the Monstera Adansonii, just not easy to find. But now I feel like I see them everywhere. Now that I've finally got one, it was the last one left at a private nursery near me, and a really young one. But now that I got it, I feel like I see them all the time at Home Depot. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I see how it is. So when I got the plant, the first thing I usually like to do is I like to pop it out of its nursery pot and see how the roots are doing. Try to do that in the store just to see what I'm dealing with, you know? Like how grown in is it and how established is it. And luckily this guy, its roots had already wrapped around the bottom, so it was pretty much ready to be repotted, which is what I wanted. I wanted a plant that had already been well established, because that just makes acclimating it to your home a lot easier once it's got its feet in the ground, you know what I'm saying? That was a good sign, so I definitely brought it home. And I think I got a really young one for $14.99 or something. Pretty cheap, right? I don't know. So I honestly didn't care how much it cost, I just got it. Because I'm a baller like that, occasionally, when it's in the budget. The roots were doing really well, so I decided to repot it right when I brought it home, which I don't always do. Usually I'll let it acclimate before I repot, but since the roots were already ready to go to a bigger pot, I put it in this 10-inch terracotta pot right when I brought it home. And I'm not gonna lie, it took it a while to get comfortable in that pot. It didn't really put out new growth and it didn't seem to be killing it, you know? Which is normal. It takes time for it to get used to its new house. So don't freak out. When I repotted this guy, the soil I decided to use, I wanted to treat it similarly to my Monstera Adansonii, since they're obviously both Monsteras. Yeah, bet you didn't know that. I used very fast draining soil. I mixed potting soil and cactus mix as well as orchid bark, and I mixed them all together so it's pretty evenly split, because I really didn't want this guy to have to sit in water, because these guys do like to dry out. So you want the soil to kind of contain some water, but not really hold it like straight potting soil would. So make sure you mix it very, very well. Okay. Watering these guys, I would definitely let them dry out completely. I've gotten into this new routine with this guy where it's this, I think it's this leaf is the first one to show me when it's thirsty. It's this specific leaf. All the other ones are always we're fine, just straight out, we're fine. But this leaf in particular, it's fine now because I watered it yesterday. Just yesterday it looked like this. Kind of bent on the sides a little bit and a little waffly in the middle. That's when you know that it's a little thirsty and it's time to give it a good water. Because you want to catch it when there's one leaf that's kind of eh. Because if you go too long without water, then you're going to start seeing yellowing leaves and drop off and dead things everywhere. Plus, when you wait for it to dry out completely, your chance of gnats growing in the top inch of the soil is lessened by a ton, because I was having a huge gnat problem with this plant and I have finally defeated them because I didn't water this guy for a month. I know that sounds abusive, but the plant was fine and it pushed out 4 new leaves in that time, guys. Err on the side of less water. if you're in doubt. If they all look perky, if all the leaves look perky, then leave it alone. Let it be. It's gonna be fine. So before I had this plant in my darker, slightly darker bedroom, it gets dappled afternoon sun, but it's not as intense as my living room. So when I had it there, it never put out new leaves. It never really like thrived. And that's when I decided to move it to my living room where it gets hotter and more humid and more intense sunlight in the afternoons because it's a south-facing window. And I have it about 4 feet back from that window, and that's when it started pushing out crazy leaves. So I think that's definitely the best recipe. You want it to be in your brightest room, but pulled back a tad. Unless it's a north-facing window, then you can get it right up there, like right on that window. That's no problem. But I'm sure if you have an east or west facing window, you can keep them a little closer and just see how they do. You don't want them to get direct sunlight. That will burn the leaves. It won't respond well to direct light, so make sure it's always back a little bit at least. It's also good to fertilize your monsteras, just because they are, you know, like they're used to very tropical, jungly type environments. And I've been giving all my plants fish fertilizer every few weeks in its growing season, and I think that's also been contributing to its new growth. Definitely recommend a teaspoon in like a gallon of water of fish fertilizer every few weeks, at least in the summer, and then you can lay off in the winter. Overall, this is a very easy plant. I would recommend it for beginners because it's so easy. Well, definitely go grab a Monstera if you can. They're really, really cool. Obviously, this is a baby. This is like an infant baby Monstera Deliciosa. If you Google adult, like well-established Monsteras, it'll blow your mind how big these guys can get. I mean, this is like nothing. Like this is my biggest leaf and it's absolutely a joke compared to how big they can get. So if you're in for like a huge, massive jungle plant, then this is your guy. Please like, subscribe, comment. I love comments. I love reading them and responding with my weirdness. So please do, and I will see you in the next one.